I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Lisa of BLACKPINK once again turned Valentine's Day 2026 into a full-blown global spectacle, proving that when she moves, the internet follows. Through a series of black and white photos shared on Instagram, Lisa BLACKPINK reimagined the classic Cupid archetype with a bold, modern twist. Platinum white hair, feathered white gown, angel wings, and a bow and arrow that felt more symbolic than playful. The minimalist monochrome palette elevated the fantasy, making the visuals feel editorial, cinematic, and instantly iconic rather than costume-like. What made the Cupid concept hit harder was the way Lisa carried it. Her dramatic makeup sharpened her already striking features, while the styling highlighted her sculpted physique, long proportions, and elegant posture. The balance between softness and power felt intentional, creating an image that was seductive without being loud and ethereal without losing edge. The result wasn't just a Valentine-themed shoot. It was a statement about control, confidence, and visual authority. Fans reacted instantly and emotionally. Social media timelines filled with praise, memes, and dramatic reactions, with many joking that Valentine's Day 2026 had officially been claimed by Lisa. Comments ranged from heartfelt admiration to playful exaggeration, all pointing to the same conclusion. Her visuals still hit like a cultural reset. The phrase "Valentine explosion" began circulating among fans, capturing how a single post could dominate global conversations within minutes. Beyond surface-level visuals, fans also highlighted Lisa's consistency as a performer and public figure. Whether she appears in aggressive stage outfits, high-fashion editorials, or angelic fantasy concepts, she never looks disconnected from the idea she's selling. That adaptability is a big reason why BLACKPINK continues to command global attention, with Lisa often acting as the visual and cultural bridge between K-pop, luxury fashion, and mainstream pop audiences. That influence doesn't stop at aesthetics. It translates directly into numbers. Lisa's recent involvement in the Nike x Skims collaboration triggered a level of demand that few celebrities can generate. Almost immediately after the official online launch, select items vanished from digital shelves worldwide, reinforcing the idea that her presence alone can convert attention into measurable commercial impact. Two standout pieces became the center of the frenzy: the Rift satin sneaker in the bold silt red colorway, and the Himalayan knit skirt. Both items sold out across all sizes and colors within minutes, even after multiple restocks. The speed of the sellout underscored how Lisa's endorsement doesn't just boost awareness, it accelerates purchasing decisions on a global scale. The Rift satin sneaker itself carries layered appeal. Inspired by the classic 1990s Nike Air Rift, it reintroduces the iconic split-toe silhouette with satin finish that softens the design and leans into ballet-inspired elegance. Meanwhile, the Himalayan knit skirt was developed as part of a coordinated head-to-toe system focused on comfort, inclusivity, and body-positive design, values that resonate strongly with modern consumers and align seamlessly with Lisa's image. Offline, the hype was just as intense. Pop-up stores in fashion capitals like Paris and London reportedly saw long queues stretching from opening to closing hours. Fans and fashion enthusiasts lined up not just to shop, but to experience the moment firsthand, turning retail spaces into social hubs and cultural events driven by Lisa's star power. As part of her long-term partnership with Nike, Lisa also starred in a dance-focused campaign filmed in Paris. Directed by Dutch choreographer Sergio Reis, the visuals leaned heavily into fluid motion and expressive choreography, emphasizing how the collection supports both everyday wear and artistic movement. Lisa's performance went beyond modeling, showcasing control, grace, and physical precision. The campaign's digital impact was immediate and massive. A single Nike x Skims post featuring Lisa surpassed 6.7 million views and earned over 1 million likes in a short span of time, while the choreography sparked a viral TikTok trend replicated across multiple countries. From Valentine fantasy to fashion domination, Lisa once again demonstrated why she remains one of the most influential figures in global pop culture, effortlessly shaping trends, driving sales, and setting the pace for what comes next. What unfolded around Valentine's Day 2026 was not a random viral spike, but a carefully layered moment where imagery, timing, and cultural relevance collided. Lisa's Cupid-inspired visuals landed at a time when audiences are hyper-aware of symbolism, and the black-and-white execution stripped away distraction, forcing focus on form, expression, and mood. This wasn't just fan service. It was visual storytelling that invited interpretation, making people linger, share, watch, and discuss. The immediate reaction revealed how deeply Lisa's image is embedded in pop culture psychology. Fans didn't simply compliment her looks. They framed the photos as an emotional experience. Valentine's Day, typically dominated by couples and romantic cliches, was reframed into a solo icon moment. In that sense, Lisa didn't participate in the holiday. She hijacked its narrative and redirected attention towards self-admiration, fantasy, and individual charisma. This is where her branding intelligence becomes obvious. Rather than leaning into overt romance, the Cupid concept played with irony and control. Cupid is traditionally a mischievous figure, yet Lisa's portrayal was calm, composed, and dominant. The contrast subtly reinforced her public image. Desirable but untouchable, soft in visuals, strong in presence. That duality is a recurring theme in her most successful appearances. The momentum from the photos seamlessly carried into the Nike X Skims conversation, creating a rare crossover between pop culture virality and retail performance. By the time consumers saw the campaign visuals, emotional engagement was already high. In marketing terms, the audience wasn't cold. They were primed. This explains why the collection didn't just sell well. It sold out at record speed. What happened next was a textbook example of scarcity amplification. Each restock triggered renewed urgency, with social media users sharing screenshots of sold-out pages and countdown timers. Rather than cooling demand, the lack of availability intensified it. The products became status symbols overnight, not just because of design, but because owning them signaled proximity to a cultural moment driven by Lisa. The physical pop-up stores added another layer to the phenomenon. Long queues in major fashion cities weren't just about purchasing items, they were about participation. Fans treated the experience as an event, documenting lines, interiors, and purchases as proof of involvement. This turned offline retail into user-generated content engines, extending the campaign's lifespan far beyond its launch window. The dance campaign further reframed the collaboration from fashion drop to artistic statement. By centering movement rather than static posing, the visuals highlighted functionality, flexibility, and strength. Lisa's execution made the clothing feel alive, reinforcing the idea that the collection wasn't just wearable, it was expressive. This distinction helped the campaign resonate with dancers, athletes, and everyday consumers alike. On social platforms, the choreography became a language of its own. TikTok trends multiplied not because users were told to participate, but because the movement felt achievable yet aspirational. People weren't copying Lisa to become her, they were borrowing her energy. That subtle shift, from imitation to interpretation, is what separates fleeting trends from lasting cultural impact. Zooming out, what truly happened across these moments was a consolidation of Lisa's influence. She didn't introduce a new persona, she reinforced an existing one with precision. Every element, Valentine visuals, fashion collaboration, dance performance, pointed back to the same message: versatility without inconsistency. That reliability is rare at her scale. In the end, Valentine's Day 2026 will likely be remembered less for romance and more for how one artist synchronized image, timing, and commerce into a single, coherent wave. Through instinctive control of aesthetics and audience emotion, Lisa once again demonstrated why her presence doesn't just follow trends. It defines the rhythm that global pop culture moves to next. At a deeper level, what occurred was a strategic convergence of timing and audience behavior. Valentine's Day already amplifies emotional engagement, and Lisa's appearance tapped directly into that heightened sensitivity. Instead of traditional romance, the narrative shifted toward allure, self-confidence, and visual fantasy, which resonated strongly with younger global audiences who increasingly value individuality over conventional love symbols. The monochrome Cupid imagery functioned as a visual anchor. Black and white aesthetics historically signal prestige and editorial seriousness, and in this case, they elevated the photos beyond typical social media content. Viewers didn't treat the images as casual posts. They consumed them like magazine spreads or art references, which extended their lifespan through reposts, edits, and commentary across platforms. This visual moment then acted as a psychological bridge to the fashion campaign. By the time the Nike X Skims products dominated timelines, audiences had already associated Lisa with elegance, control, and desirability. That emotional association transferred directly to the products, making them feel aspirational rather than transactional. Consumers weren't just buying apparel, they were buying into a mood. What followed was a classic demand shock. Online sellouts occurred so quickly that scarcity itself became part of the narrative. Screenshots of sold-out notices circulated widely, reinforcing the idea that the collection was something exclusive and fleeting. In digital culture, this kind of visibility paradoxically increases desire, even among people who hadn't initially planned to purchase. Offline retail amplified the same effect. Long queues at pop-up stores became visual proof of mass interest, turning waiting lines into social validation. Fans documented their experiences not just to show purchases, but to demonstrate participation in a global moment. This behavior effectively transformed consumers into voluntary marketers, extending the campaign's reach organically. The dance-focused campaign then reframed the conversation once more. Movement-based visuals shifted attention from product aesthetics to performance and functionality. By emphasizing flexibility and strength, the campaign appealed beyond fashion audiences to dancers, athletes, and lifestyle consumers, broadening the collection's demographic impact without diluting its identity. On TikTok, the choreography trend illustrated how influence now spreads through replication rather than endorsement alone. Users across different countries adapted the movements to their own styles, creating localized versions of the same core idea. This decentralized participation allowed the campaign to feel global yet personal, a balance that few celebrity-driven projects achieve. From an industry perspective, the sequence of events highlighted how modern influence works best when content, commerce, and culture move in sync. No single element dominated the narrative. Instead, each reinforced the other. The Valentine visuals sparked attention, the fashion drop converted interest, and the dance campaign sustained momentum. Importantly, none of this relied on controversy or shock value. The impact came from consistency and clarity of image. Lisa didn't reinvent herself. She refined and reaffirmed what audiences already associate with her: elegance, precision, and quiet authority. That consistency is what allowed multiple campaigns to overlap without causing fatigue. Ultimately, what unfolded was less about isolated success and more about cumulative power. Through disciplined image control and intuitive understanding of audience emotion, Lisa BLACKPINK turned Valentine's Day 2026 into a multi-layered cultural moment, one that seamlessly connected fantasy, fashion, and movement into a single, sustained wave of global attention.